Hi, I'm Christine Inserra, physical therapist since 1982. Today I'm going to show you core exercises that can be done on the floor or on your bed. First, we're going to start simply with exercises lying on your back, which is good for people who are just beginning to strengthen their core. Then I'm going to advance you to intermediate and more advanced exercises. Finally, I'm going to increase the demand of the position, showing you exercises on your side, on your belly, and on your hands and knees. Precautions. I usually don't recommend doing exercises when you're in acute pain. The body must heal and pain diminish. So if you're moving well into that direction, you may try the beginning exercises, but ultimately respect your body if you have pain and stop. Now, following surgery or a serious injury, you should always check with your doctor to be sure that isometric core exercise is advisable. Examples would be abdominal surgery, back surgery, a herniation, or your heart condition. Once you've mastered the core on the floor exercises, you could try my seated core and standing balance core videos. So why strengthen the core? Well, the core muscles are so basic to supporting not only your skeleton, but your internal organs as well. Now, most people think of their core as their abdominal muscles, and they would be right. But it also includes the back muscles and the pelvic floor. So you might think of your torso core as a wraparound abdominal corset, but by adding breathing and tightening of your entire body, you recruit support outside, inside, and throughout. So let's get started. This is core exercise number 1 for beginners or anyone with slight back pain. Now, it can be done on the bed or the floor, but you're going to want to have your legs flat, ideally. If you cannot tolerate having your legs flat without some back discomfort, you may put some pillows underneath your knees. You'd like a pillow underneath your head. And what we're going to do is strengthen the muscles along the back side of the body, although we will get the abdominals kicking in. Watch me first. Now, let's break it down into 3 parts so that you can build it back up. We're going to first take a preparatory in-breath. And on the out-breath, you're going to firm your abdomen and lift your head, not off the pillow, but just almost off the pillow, so that it acts as a weight, causing resistance and making your abdominal muscles work. That's the first set. So, with me, breathe in. Okay, we'll add next the squeezing of the buttocks and tightening of the legs and rolling out of the legs. So we'll add that, breathing in. Making those buttocks rock hard. And then we'll add the final step of digging the elbows into the bed so that the shoulder blades lift a little bit and the back arches slightly off the bed in between the shoulder blades. You're not to push on your head, however. So let's put the whole thing together, breathing in. Release. And repeat 5 times. You should work over a week's period of time to increase your repetitions, if possible, to 10 times, as tolerated. Before moving on to intermediate and advanced core exercise, You must be able to firm your core at will, at any time, and in any position. Thinking of your torso corset as a tube of toothpaste, you should be able to squeeze from all the way around. Technically, you don't have to exhale, but by exhaling, you increase the compression. You can test yourself by taking your firm fingers, firming your abdomen, and bouncing your fingers through the fat into the firm abdominal muscles. Wait until you can clearly accomplish this, or else you'll just be lifting your arms and legs without a strong center of support. This is core exercise number 1, intermediate, and it's for people who do not have back pain. We're lying on our back with feet flat and a pillow beneath the head. Now it is important on this exercise and the advanced not to flatten the back into the floor or table. Why? Because it rounds the back and can create back problems. So if you are not allowed to flatten your back, what do? First, you want to feel with your hands that there's a little space here between your back and the bed. All right? And so what you don't want to do is push your back into your hands. Instead, what you want to do is keep the pressure point on your sacrum, which is beneath your hands. Let me show you. So we don't want the back to flatten into the table here. We want the counter pressure for the exercise to be on the sacrum. This rounded part right here is going to be where the body pushes onto in order to accomplish the stability. So if you want to try to do it in the beginning with hands underneath your back, you can. We're going to begin with a preparatory breath inward. Exhale, and now you get to lift your head 2 inches as you firm your abdomen. Again, you're not pressing down on your back here. Release the tension of your neck completely. And you're going to repeat, but this time you're going to take your head up and slightly towards the left knee. Again, breathing in. Exhale. Release the neck again. Breathe in. You're going to go to the right now. You're going to do the 3 directions, center, left, right, 5 times, and over a week's period of time, increase your repetitions to 10, if tolerated. Now, I just want you to know that this is a multi-directional abdominal exercise, getting the straight and the oblique muscles, so that's why we're doing it like this. This is core exercise number 1, advanced, and it is for people who do not have active back pain. Now, this exercise is especially important for you to keep your low back in a neutral position and not flatten it into the surface. So you can have your hands underneath your back to remind you. The starting position is pillow beneath the head, knees bent, feet flat. You are going to take 1 foot up at a time, and here's where you want to be very specific. If I bring them up too far, I am going to flatten my back. If I have them too far down, I'm going to feel like they're pulling me too high in the low back. So you want to have your knees just so that there's a little bit of pressure on your hands. Okay, here we go. We're going to breathe in as a preparatory breath. Firm the lower abdominals, if you can. Think of firming much lower than we did before. As you, I'm going to just say, as you dip your legs straight for 2 seconds, holding your breath, And you'll dip your other foot and leg out straight for 2 seconds, and then you'll return and take an in-breath. So let's try it. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing in. Repeat. Breathing in. Repeating for 5 repetitions. Again, the focal pressure is on the sacrum. Over a week's time, work yourself up to 10 repetitions as tolerated. This is core exercise number 2 for beginners, and you may have the slightest bit of back pain because we're not actually going to be moving the spine. We're only going to be engaging and activating the core muscles, so it's less likely that it will strain your back. You will be in a sideline position with a pillow underneath your head and a pillow between your legs. You're going to be taking a preparatory breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your head just so that the pressure is off of your ear. You will feel with your hand that your waist muscles are rock hard. You will push with your hand and elbow just to take a little pressure off of your legs, off the table. And that will kick in the core side muscles right here. Breathe in again. Let me take you through it again. Exhale. You hold that for the count of 5 as you exhale, and repeat 5 times, working over a week's period of time to work up to 10 repetitions. Again, this is an isometric core contraction of your transverse abdominals. This is core exercise number 2, intermediate, for people who have no active back pain. It's going to be very similar to the one we just did as a beginner, with your pillow between the knees, pillow underneath the head. You're going to be pushing on your elbow and your hand as you firm your waist. But this time, you're going to lift your knees. I'm just telling you now, you're going to lift your knees slightly off the bed, leaving the feet on the bed, and then you're going to lift the feet off the bed and leave the knees on it. So let me show it to you. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathe in again. Exhale. Show it to you again. Breathing in. Breathing in. Exhale. So you'll do 5 repetitions, alternating between lifting knees and feet. And then, over a week's period of time, work up to 10 repetitions. This exercise strengthens the core rotational muscles with the minimum of movement. Core exercise number 2, advanced. And this is for people who have no active back pain, neck pain, or hip pain. You're going to be in the same position on your side with a pillow beneath your head, but no pillow between your legs. Instead of only lifting your head up enough to take the pressure off your ear, you're going to lift your head up 2 inches. And with the legs, what you'll be doing is you'll be pushing on your arms, and your arm and hand, and lifting both legs up off the table with a separation between the 2 legs of about 8 inches. and keep the legs parallel. So let me show it to you. You're going to take your preparatory breath. Exhale, firming your abdomen. Push on your hands. Lift your leg, your head. 5 seconds. Release. Repeat. The lifting of the legs really engages the transverse and core. You're also getting the inner thigh muscles strengthened as well as the outer thigh of the top leg. So, the rest of the exercises are going to emphasize the strengthening of the neck muscles, shoulder blade muscles, back muscles, and buttock muscles. And this is really important because in our world we do a lot of seated work or standing work where we are pulled forward. So it'll help your erect posture. Core exercise number 3. For beginners, and you can have a little back pain and try this one. It is done on the bed or the floor. But here's the thing. The bed is soft. And it's going to give, as you do the exercise, on your belly, and it's going to create more arching in your low back. Now, some people are not going to tolerate being on their belly and doing this exercise, and that's okay. You may not tolerate it if you have a sway back or a lot of arching in your low back. Another situation would be if you had spondylolisthesis, where one vertebrae slips forward of the other, or if you had a bulging or herniated disc, you might not tolerate being on your belly and arching. One way to test for this is to stand and put a little arch in your back by sticking your belly forward, and if that is uncomfortable, you may not be comfortable with this exercise. One way to make it work is to use a pillow, either on the floor or definitely on the bed, somewhere between your collarbones and your pubic bone. And that will help keep the spine in a more neutral position. Okay, a couple of main points here. You will succeed with this exercise if you make your pubic bone, the front of your hips, and your firm abdomen the anchor point and push it into the bed or the floor. That way you'll have the strength to lift your body up. So you start with your back of your hands on your forehead. The other point is you are not going to lift your neck up into an arch. You're going to keep your neck and your face and your arms and hands in the same plane as you lift. Watch me. Breathing in. Pushing the pubic bone down. Firming the abdomen. Lifting. The feet lift off as well. Squeezing the buttocks. Holding 5 seconds and down. Breathing in again. So as you can see, it's not about lifting up high, and you'll do that 5 times, and over a week's period of time, work up to 10 as tolerated. Core exercise number 3, intermediate. Done in the same position as the beginners. One word of caution, I think it's best not to do any belly exercise right after you've eaten. So, back of the hands on the forehead. You're going to lift as you did before. Breathing in. Five seconds and down. Now, the next time you're going to come up and to the left. Breathe in. Five seconds and down. Breathe in, and this time you're going to come up and to the right. So because you're doing center, left, right, that's 3 times in 1 round. Start off with 3 rounds, and then over a week's period of time, go up to 5, because that's 15 repetitions, and that should be enough. This is core exercise number 4. It's an intermediate exercise. You'll be in your hands and knees position. If your wrists and knees are not comfortable with this, then just don't do it. I would refer you to the standing core video instead. So position here is everything. Going slow is everything. Your hands should be beneath your shoulders or slightly forward. The knees should be directly underneath your hips. Now, your back should not be rounded, nor should it be very arched. It should be somewhat neutral. And the same thing should be for your neck. You should not be looking down this way. You should not be looking forward. Your face should be parallel to the table so that your neck is long. So, to succeed with this, you must go slow and build up the pressure. I'm going to be lifting my left leg in the same line as my spine. And so there's going to be a lot more pressure on my left hand, some on my right hand, and some on my right knee. And the trick here is to shift the weight to the remaining 3 limbs without shifting. If I just do this, I can lift my leg up, but I don't want you to shift your pelvis. I want you to drive your hands into the surface, and it will provide a core resistance. Watch me. Shifting. Before I even lift, I'm just taking pressure off of my left knee slightly. Five seconds. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. So this right hand is going to take a lot of pressure down into the table. This a little bit and my left knee a little bit, lifting ever so slowly my right leg up as I exhale. Cocking my ankle, tightening my buttocks, and making sure my abdomen is firm. 5 seconds and back down. And you repeat this so that your spine stays centered, so that you're not rocking back and forth. In this way, you're working on core stability. If you can keep your spine in the center, you are working on core stability. I'm going to do one more alternating set. Breathing in. Pushing my hands into the table really hard, tightening the buttock, cocking the ankle, returning, sliding. The sliding does help. Breathe in again. Five seconds. I would do 5 rounds, and then over a week's time, work up to 10. This is core exercise number 4. It's advanced. It's letter A. And this is very similar to what we just did in exercise 4 intermediate, but you should not move on to this exercise if you have any pain in your low back, because it is a more demanding exercise for the low back. The idea is we're going to extend and hold out the opposite arm and the opposite leg and balance while exerting our core strength again. Breathing in, sliding the hand and foot up, cocking the wrist, cocking the foot, squeezing the buttock, firming the abdomen. 5 seconds, balancing slowly back down, breathing in, and switching sides. We really get that squeeze at the end. I would start this 5 repetitions, and over a week's time, increase to 10 as tolerated. Core exercise number 4. This is advanced, and this is letter B. This exercise is more about stretch up the front, getting the neck more arched, the back more arched, and the front of the hip stretched out. It's about getting the buttock really contracting. So, although it will get core firming here, it's not as much the emphasis as in the light stretch. Watch me, breathing in. I look at my hand, 1, 2, 3, and down. I don't hold it as long because the hamstrings tend to cramp. Again. I'd start with 5 repetitions and increase to 10 over a week's time as tolerated. Core exercise number 4. It is advanced, and this is the last one, C. This is for your hip strength and your balance. You're going to see it's very challenging, and you certainly may want to work on the floor first because it'll be firmer. You're going to use all your core strength. You're going to shift slowly. I'm going to take my left leg out to the side is the end game, and my right arm out to the side, that's the end game. So you're going to take your preparatory breath. You're going to shift the weight to your left hand and your right knee very slowly before you lift. And go slow. Now, if you have your balance, take your hand out to your side. 5 seconds and down. We'll repeat to the other side. So, breathing in. I like to look at my leg to see that it's out parallel and down. Again, start 5 repetitions. Work your way up to 10 over a week's time. So there you have it. Core, on the floor, and more. I remind you that I also have the seated core and standing balance core videos for you to benefit from. If you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, subscribe, like, leave comments, and until next time, take care.